1997's The Fifth Element, directed by Luc Besson and starring Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich. This is without a doubt one of my favorite movies of all time. It is easily in the top 5. I absolutely love it for the environments, the world building, the sets, the costumes done by Jean-Paul Gaultier. So you know it's going to be crazy if Jean-Paul Gaultier did all the costuming for it, and it's pretty evident based on all of the different characters and their appearance. I love it for the props. The Zorg ZF-1, which absolutely everybody loves. We've probably all watched Adam Savage's build of that amazing, ridiculous thing. The Mangalore grenade, which will actually be a subject of a very near future video for me, where I'm going to build one out of, you guessed it, real parts. And a ton of other just little ancillary props that, in the grand scheme of things, they're not really a part of the plot. But the background props I'm more attracted to than any others because they're just odd little fill in the blanks sort of things, and I love them for what they are. And as far as the ZF-1 goes, there is one little prop. There is one little prop that's just in the foreground for just a few seconds, and it's when Gary Oldman, his character, Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, is introducing the ZF-1 to the Mangalores, and he has a little remote in his hand. And that little remote, no one paid attention to it. Nobody cared what it was. But I did, and a lot of other people did, particularly folks on the RPF. And what it is this. Now, this one has been disassembled because I'll get into that in a second. But it's a little handheld game. Now, the one that was used in the production to make this is actually, I believe it was Soccer was the game that was used, but it's meaningless because they all used the same case. And this is what matters. You can see it right here. There it is, right there. It's the same game. That's sort of the angle you see it at right there. Now, this is just like a cheap Poundland, Dollar General, whatever you want to call it, game that you would get in a grocery store checkout lane, or like I said, at just a low-cost store of some sort. And it was, I believe these are from the mid-90s, and they are quality. Let me tell you what. Now, when I got this one didn't work, so I couldn't play Monkey, because that's just what the game is called, Monkey. I'm assuming it says something to do with sea monkeys, perhaps, based on this artwork here. But it is. I have a different color battery cover because this one didn't have one. But it has a little stand, top shelf. But these, I believe, were in production for just a couple of years. And then the company, which has the easiest to Google search name of all time, Game. Seriously, try to Google search that. Game, brand, game. Now, this one is actually a later iteration of this game, and it is simply entitled Car Racing. And it is like this, top quality. And this one also doesn't work, sadly. I would love to play these games and see just how bloody terrible they are. Now, I have taken this one apart, and the internals for this and the internals for this are exactly the same, and you can kind of tell they were doing some cost savings because, I don't know, maybe business was hurting. I have no idea. And unfortunately, I can't return this anymore because the security seal's broken. But yeah, it is quite obvious that roughly this is, but there are no maker marks on this whatsoever. So beyond having this box, I have no idea, other than that, what the company was called. And try to Google search game company, game brand, car racing, monkey, soccer, whatever, and see just how many ridiculous search results you get. Because these are, I mean, they are hard to find based on that, and they are a little hard to find because most people just trash these things. But this one, I picked this up on eBay for, I think, $20, and occasionally they pop up, and it's all different types of games: soccer, football, car racing, monkey, whatever monkey is. And when I got it, like I said, didn't work, and I took it apart, and I made a mold for it because I wanted to make copies of it, and I made some copies of it. And yeah, I have even more of those in the back now. But we're gonna turn this one into the one that looks like the screen used prop. Now, the only parts you need once you take this apart, assuming it's complete, is of course this battery cover if you have to steal it from another one, and then it's held together by 4 screws in the back. Remove those, take all the guts out, and you're gonna have 3 screens. You're gonna have this glass plate which I need to clean out because it's got some casting medium on it. And then a sheet of acetate that's almost a clear, opaque acetate. And then the game screen, which you can see an example of what the game screen looks like. They're not the highest quality art. I can't find the one for this one right now, but it's beautiful. And once you've got all that taken out, I glued these buttons in place, partially to seal it for casting, but that didn't work because this thing is just full of holes. And ultimately, once I pulled it from the mold, this thing was completely full of RTV. So that was sort of a fail. But this is an extremely simple build. You've got your glass screen, your two halves. You're going to start off by wiping these down with alcohol to get all the gunk off of them if they have any on it, which these do. And then you're going to paint them flat black. And then you're going to paint that yellow. And then put it together. Done. You have a prop. So here it is all painted up. I actually ended up using semi-gloss black because it turns out I didn't have any flat black, but this will do. And then the screen is painted. That's actually with Tamiya flat yellow on the back end. I painted it on the reverse side so that the shiny bits show through on the front. Now, first things first, install the screen, which I'm just going to use some super glue. Very simple. Very simple. And now, screw it together. A little bit of schmutz there. Get that out of there. Hey, come back. I have only the use of 3 fingers and a thumb on my left hand, which is my dominant hand, because whilst using a razor blade, a scalpel, a brand new blade in fact, I managed to cut very nearly the tip of my finger off. It's not really as dramatic as it sounds, but it was painful. There was much naughty language. And yeah, if you're using a scalpel, be cautious. And don't get in a hurry. Because I wasn't, and I did. It's hard to do with gloves on. See? Ruined my finger. And there, look at that. It just looks silly. Now we need to weather it. Now, in the film, this prop really wasn't all that weathered, but I just want to make some of the edges pop a little bit. So I'm going to use the old standby Tamiya weathering powder, number A, since it's a number now, and then liberally brush it on just to pick up edges, just to give it a little bit more depth. And then a stand, and done. That's it. That's the whole prop. That's all there is to it. Take it apart, paint it, glue it back together again, and you're done. You have the Zorg ZF-1 remote. This is a bit shiny. I need to flat coat it, so I'll flat coat it and make it look a bit less shiny. But I threw together a pretty simple stand in the oldie Glowforge, and yeah, it doesn't look too bad. That'll look good on a shelf. It's got some mistakes, but so be it. So yeah, there you go. The Zorg ZF-1 remote from 1997's The Fifth Element by Luke Besson. Thank you for watching. Consider becoming a patron, like and subscribe, all that stuff. If you have any desire to know about the stuff I used to make this, check the links below. Thank you again. Cheers. While I've got you here, I'd like to show you a piece of artwork that I recently got in the mail. This is from an artist by the name, or at least goes by the name of Rylander, at Rylander, at WRYLANDER on the Instagram. He does absolutely beautiful pop culture art, and as I love the Transformers, and a lot of the art that he has posted right now is Transformers related, I got hold of him and asked him if he could do a commission for me of my very favoritist Transformer from when I was a kid. Devastator, as you can see. My finger still broke. But I absolutely love this. And he was kind enough to do it, and for a reasonable amount of... and he was kind enough to do it for a reasonable number of monies. And I got it in the mail recently, and it's been hanging in my shop. And I just wanted to give a bit of a shout out to Rylander and to thank him for this, and this thing is great. I absolutely love it. It's really pretty, very colorful. Love it. I always wanted the Devastator toy when I was a kid. Never got it. Now I have no desire to own it, but I still have good memories of it. I went back and tried to watch this show recently, a couple episodes, and man, is it bad. But I'll always have nostalgia. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.